This is Chris J. interviewing Veronica for the Love Project. So Veronica, tell us about your journey from UVA undergrad to disabled Townie.
I graduated in 2000 with a BA in English, and the very last class that I needed for my major, I had just gone through a major depression, and for whatever reason, the mania of my bipolar didn't cover the space so that I could finish all my papers and do what I needed to do. So I went to my professor, and it was the first time I was actually honest about me, and I burst into tears, and I told him about my pain, what I was going through, being out of control, and he gave me a box of Kleenex, and he told me about his wife who had seasonal affective disorder. And he gave me an extension. He said, just write anything, get it up to 15 pages, and you'll graduate. He gave me a D, told me I couldn't write. It was the best grade experience I ever had at UVA, and I graduated. Then I moved to Fredericksburg, where I worked as a claims examiner. And it was not that great, but around the end of 3 years, I started not being able to go to work because I was depressed, or I would sleep in my car because I was depressed and not go, or I would get there and I would burst into tears and I couldn't stop crying. And I didn't know I was sick. I thought I was lazy. And that's why I hate that word. People use it, and there's never a nice application to the word lazy. It's just somebody not understanding why somebody is failing. And usually we're failing not because we mean to, or we're trying to annoy other people, or we're trying to be obstinate. It's the fact that we're in pain and we can't deal with that pain. And I think that when we find people like that, we should be more sensitive and gentle to people instead of trying to get people to always pull things up by their bootstraps, or get over it, or get through it, or whatever thing people throw at people. I digress. So I was in Fredericksburg, and I was crying every day. And then I went to Snowden in Fredericksburg for the day program, and then I tried to work full time, and that didn't work because I was going through group therapy for the first time, and it was scary and enlightening and draining. And I kept calling my mother at 2 a.m. crying until she eventually asked me, I don't know if it was guilt or motherly duty or something, she asked me if I wanted to come live with her. And I said yes. And I ended up going to live in a broken down trailer in Zephyr Hills, Florida for the next couple of years. And then my mother passed away. And I moved to Tampa for a year, and then my father asked me to come back to Virginia because he was getting tired of driving all the way from Virginia, or trying to fly because he had arthritis in his legs, and the air conditioning in airplanes really affects that. And my apartment in Tampa was going condo, so I couldn't afford it anyway. And in the meanwhile, I had qualified for disability. I had to get my congressperson involved, but I got my coverage. So I came back to Charlottesville, in 2006, disabled, and a Townie. And that's how I went from being an